Okay, move around. Keep the creative juices flowing.
Grab it.
Sure, yeah. One way.
Oh no.
What are you clapping?
There, not so fast. Are you kidding me?
We're talking about. I don't think you're going to do what you're trying to do.
What?
as some of you I'm sure are doing, is making a Christmas list. How many of you are already making your Christmas list?
I want to, but so yeah.
Want? You still can make a list.
There's stuff that can still come out between now and Christmas. Last minute list.
Well, on top of it, here's how great it is. I have 2 daughters. Their birthdays are both in November. Taya's birthday is November 8th, and Olivia's birthday is November 13th. And then we have Christmas, which is just a month and a week after that. And so, not only do we have the Christmas list compiling up between my 4 daughters, we also have the birthday list. And these are lists that, as you guys are all well aware, that we go through and write down everything we want. What are some of the cool things that are out there today? I don't know what it's all about.
Xbox One.
What? iPhone. That's not that new though. Xbox One. What else?
Games for Xbox.
What? PlayStation 4, puppies.
Yeah.
You want a puppy for Christmas?
Dude, come over to our house and take Paul.
That's super easy.
Oh, yeah. So, subs for your car that you don't have.
I have one. I can't drive it.
He wants his license back, that's what he wants.
Well, we don't go there. We will not go there. So the whole thing though is we're putting a list together. Hey guys, we're putting a list together of items that we don't have, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's a list of items that we don't have. It's items we want. Why do we want these items? Because they're cool. What tells you that they're cool?
We don't have them.
Ryan says it's because they're cool. Why are they cool? What tells you that they're cool?
That we're using them.
I'm here for Brian, not
It is
Rena.
Brian.
Everybody's using them.
Gavin, what were you going to say?
You don't know why they're cool?
Well, let's go back to the original question. Why do we want these things?
Guess we don't have them.
Because we don't have them. Why do we want them even though we don't have one?
Because they
I don't have a Lamborghini and I don't want a Lamborghini. Doesn't mean it's on my list.
It interests you.
It interests you. What tells you that it interests you though? How do you know that it interests you? Your personality, your brain. But something's telling you that this thing is even out there. How do you even know it exists? Gavin. Your conscience? Commercials! Hey, there's people who are saying what these things are, and they tell you how great they are. And then, not only that, it's when someone gets it. And then you really see how cool it is, right? And when someone gets the Xbox One, and you get to go play it, man, I really want one of these. Or, you know, when one of my good friends got a car before I did, I couldn't wait to get a car because they had a car and I got to see all the freedom of what they had. Now I'm not a sub guy, so I really don't care about those. You know, PlayStation 4 is puppies. Oh wow, I love puppies. Just seeing them cuddle up and the nice soft fur and
I think
you know, all that
they
kind of stuff.
were because he
A puppy, yeah. But it's when you see them. Now listen, it's when you see them that you want them, right? Well, the Bible tells us that desiring something you don't have is called envying or coveting something. And the Bible even tells us that we should not envy or covet it. So now everything that we just listed and the Christmas list that we all write and the things that we desire, are we breaking God's law?
I don't know.
I'm just asking. I just want you guys to think. So what we're going to do is we're going to break up into 4 groups. We're going to do a little research. Who's got their Bibles with you? I'm going to make sure I have at least 4 people with Bibles. Raise your hand, I want to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sweet. Okay, so we have 7.
Did you count?
Yes, I did count you. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we'll 4 and 3. So, okay, let's Carissa and Danae come to the front row. And right there. Yes, I'm going to use you to join these 3 right here. Victory. Those guys. I'll do this. Mikey, you can go join the booth in the back. Number 5. No. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so here's the challenge. I'm going to give you a Bible passage, and as a group, you guys can move. So like if you 4 back there want to like move to a different area where you can be more comfortable.
Can't be all like cuddled and
You can if you want, but I know how loud these guys are, and you're not going to be able to hear because of how loud they are. So, I'm gonna give you a Bible passage, and then as a group, I want you guys to look at it and see what is it saying. What does it tell us in the story? What's it telling us as a passage? And then, as you know, we're talking about the mask of envy tonight. What does it talk to us about envying or coveting? And like I said to some of our leaders earlier, one of these passages is really one that I want you to dig really deep into. So don't just look, oh, his word says this, and that's what it is. Think about it. What does it mean? Yes.
Dibs. Yeah.
So there's we're going to do Hebrews 13, 5 and 6. You can't cheat because you already talked to me about this one earlier. This group right here, James 4:2.
What was our name? Hebrews
13, 5 through 6. Mikey's group, Exodus 20, verse 17. 17.
Okay, just that one.
You may want to read around it. It was just something later on that applies. And then you guys are Romans. Romans 7 through 12. Hebrews 13, 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you want to stay here?
Don't, I want to be able to see you guys, so don't leave this area, but you can go to the back chairs back there. You might want to move quick, we're not doing this very long. You got like 5 to 8 minutes to do this. Exodus 20 verse 17. You guys may have to go like 10 minutes earlier. You may have to go like 10 minutes earlier.
What shall we say then? Is the law sinful? Certainly not. Nevertheless, I would not have known what sin was had God been the law. For I would not have known what it was if law had not been. You shall not covet. But sin seizes the opportunity of what is produced in you, for apart from the law, sin was dead. I once was alive apart from the law, but when the commandment came, sin sprang, fled, and I died. I found that the very commandment that was intended to bring life actually brought death. For sin seized the opportunity afforded by the commandment.
Would you like to go? Well, you guys discuss it first. What does it mean? What's it about? What's going on?
Keep your lives free from the love of money.
It says the same.
Where are you going, Hunter?
Where's the rest of it? Okay, so reading verse 9. Use your hand.
Alright. Knew it was a sin.
Trust me.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you
Okay.
So now,
What's it saying, and how does it pertain to tonight's topic?
It's not just
yeah, it just says like that you don't understand that you are covered. You don't understand that it's wrong until you like learn it, but it's like they understand that it's wrong.
What is
What are we exactly doing?
What?
What are we doing exactly?
What is it saying, what's it about, and how does it pertain to tonight's topic? Talk about envy and coveting. What does it say about that?
But it says it right. I don't get how it's hard. It just says it.
There's deeper levels to it that you guys aren't getting to.
Are you sure we are?
We'll find out in 2 minutes. Yeah.
Can we have
Well,
Romans?
this is this one, it says, for Finn seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment received and through the commandment put me to death. So that's,
Wait, go back again.
yeah.
So, first you speak,
All this.
they said to Moses, you speak to
Well,
us,
this thing
and
might
we
take
listen.
some inside, but
Do not let God speak to us.
So we say
but
with
God.
God.
Moses
Lord is
said
my
to
helper.
the people,
when
do
you're
not
not
be
having
afraid,
your
for
neighbors,
he
your
has
neighbors,
come
and
to
oh yes,
test
I
you.
do.
That we
So intend
have
to
the
fear
fear
of
of
the
him
Lord
that
God,
he
God's
before
laws
you.
are right, or
Like
ability.
Boom, you said it
Say,
again.
I know what it says. Spiritual rights, sure, it's God, I will do that, watch me.
Stood
You
far
go on.
Very last
Moses
statement.
Question.
What? So you have multiple.
Joey, read
That's
to
all
me.
the
Because-
If you just want to read it.
Yeah.
But like the most for kids. Not like the
So we gotta look this up. You start out with like talking about what you said.
What does it say? And how does it pertain to tonight?
If I have God's
I'll ask you
love,
more when it
It's
comes,
lost
but
and-
I just
why
want
do
you
I
to
need
think about it
you
right
all?
Okay,
Just get ready to talk about
Fill in
it.
this sentence.
It's lost and
Impression.
no, that's not. Never mind. Okay, it means the Bible is right, but it's not simple. It's not that part. Not that part. I would not have known what sin was. It
I was
happened.
speaking all
I don't know what's wrong with me.
1 minute.
So we say what
We hear about
this is Christian. The Lord is my helper. So what's the
You don't know you're coming out
We have nothing.
there. Basically. Or you have like.
My right ear.
You're in God.
And like hearing about it.
But then, you know, it's the word.
Hey, Pastor Trevor, we can go from them.
But then
It's not that
we
good.
just.
Wait, we're going
first.
Barron's going first.
Their quality of the coffee is much lower.
Barron, you guys are going first.
They're going first. I am.
You're the only one who did.
Whoever has the first is going first.
Both has like
Lord, you're a God. I just go.
Actually, no, I'm gonna do Exodus first.
Are you sure, Barron?
Eyes up. Eyes up. I got that diploma and everything.
Okay, Exodus group. Exodus group.
Exodus group.
What do you want? I mean, yes, Pastor Trevor. Oh, is that over? Wow.
You're standing right in the way of it.
Oh, good.
Okay, Exodus 20, what does it say?
Oh.
Okay, that'd be you guys.
Do you want to paraphrase or do you want
Let's
to?
read verse 17.
Hold up. Wait, it's my love, Every love is.
You want 17, right?
Yes.
You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything you belongs to your own.
So who should, okay, let me ask you the question, is what does that have to do with tonight? What does it say about tonight? Talking about envy, massive envy, what does it say?
Don't be jelly of it.
Don't be what?
jelly.
Jealous.
The other thing that we talked about is like the whole idea of not have, well, he says his house and his neighbor's wife and all, and the servants. And then they go as far as like the donkey and the oxen. And for that particular time period, the donkey and the oxen are like the Xbox of today.
It is, that's
Yeah,
true.
totally. I mean, it's huge, yeah. Like, is it like the oxen?
Well, keep in mind, it's their cars of today. You know, it's what hauled stuff for them to and from wherever they're going, markets or, you know, to the temple. The other thing I like here is, so as Moses is listing this out, you should not covet your neighbor's house. So don't, you know, even if your neighbor has this gorgeous mansion with the pool and all that kind of stuff, you shouldn't have to be going, hey, I want that. Okay? You should not be coveting your neighbor's wife. You know, if you're a girl, you know, just don't. If you're a guy, really don't. You should not covet. Now, this is just humorous to me. So it says, do not covet your neighbor's wife or male servant, and then female servant. Or in my term, the terminology here is your manservant or your maidservant. Don't covet his ox or donkey, and then this is my favorite part, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. You know, why did Moses just say that to begin with? Don't covet anything that belongs to your neighbor. Huh?
Because you want to be specific of the important.
He's giving you examples of what it is. And really, if you look, he's almost going down, maybe I shouldn't say it this way, but it almost looks like a hierarchy. You know, your home, under your home is your family, under your family is the servants, under your family, or under your servants is everything else, the ox and the donkey, and then anything else. So he's giving you a list of what you're not supposed to be coveting, or envious of, or wanting, or desiring, or put whatever word you want in there that says the same thing. Okay? Make sense? Sweet. Moving on, Hebrews 13, 5 and 6. Someone read it.
Don't let money be satisfied with what you have for God. Instead, I will never leave you, I will never abandon you. So we can say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. So I will have no fear of what can kneel the mortals do to me.
What is it saying? What's happening?
Don't make your life based on money.
Don't live your life based on money, Theron?
Just putting this into context, we basically broke down both verses into sentences. So we listed off what each phrase was saying to us, if that makes sense. So I think that's what Raymond is saying with these points.
Keep your lives free from money, from the love of money. It's not keep your lives free from money. So he's not saying you can't be rich. Don't take it that way. But it's the love of money. It's the desire of money. It's the driving factor is I want money. You know, you guys ever watch, oh shoot, I just slipped my mind. DuckTales. No, is it DuckTales? No. Scrooge Duck. You know,
Ebenezer? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the old $1 Million Scrooge Duck back in the early 90s.
Oh.
They had the 3 nephews.
Huey, Dewey, and
Oh,
Louie.
Huey, Dewey, Louie, yeah, that one.
I wasn't cool.
You know, he swam, you weren't, but he swam in the gold of his mansion. You know, that he had this big towering safe with gold in it, and he swam. It was all about the money. It's not about being rich, it's about having the money. If you have money, I want it. Not that he needed it, but he wanted it. So that's what the author of Hebrews is saying, is keep your lives free from the love of money, and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So we can say with confidence, the Lord is my helper, will not be afraid. What can man do to me? There's one more deeper thought in this one I'm wondering. Can you guys pull it out? It's a question and answer. If we have money, how does that limit what God can do? You following?
Are you asking everyone?
I'm asking more your group, but if you don't get it, then we
Say
don't
your
know.
question again?
So, there's a part of this passage that's actually, because of money, hinders God. How is that? How do we make sense of that?
Because of the money, it hinders God, because it becomes man's focal point rather than God's focal point of their life.
So if you so if you have everything, if you have the car, you have the house, you have the food, you have everything, in what area is there room for God to help you? There isn't any. But who is our provider? The Bible tells us God is. So if we are going out loving money and trying to buy all this stuff, you're not giving God the opportunity to bless you. The Bible tells us, going back to the offering thing, you know, give to God and He's going to bless you. He's going to multiply it. And man, there's times where I've given the last dollar in my pocket knowing that I have to buy lunch yet or put gas in my car and have no idea how I'm going to do it. And all of a sudden, money shows up or someone blesses me and pays for my gas or whatever it is. You know, God will bless you, but you just need to be obedient to what He asks you. So don't try going out and just buying everything. Let God bless you. Let Him do it. Okay? James chapter 4, verse 2. Share it. Read it. Someone read James chapter 4, verse 2.
Alright. Verse that we had was, you want something but don't get it, you kill and covet, but you cannot have what you want. You quarrel and fight, you do not have because you do not ask God.
That's a good one.
What does it say? How does it pertain to tonight? What are your thoughts? Hunter, what are your thoughts?
We want what we don't have, and
Don't reread the scripture to me.
well, that's what it is. We want what other people have because we don't have it, and then we're just bad people, and we'd rather would expect it or try and take it for ourselves and ask the price for it.
I may embarrass myself again because I can't remember the name of this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a father going after this toy doll for his son for Christmas.
Yeah.
No, that's shoes.
Oh, that's.
Oh, that's
Ah.
a true movie though.
What's it called? Oh, what's it
Oh
called?
good, I don't feel so bad.
I know what you're
I
talking
know what you're
about.
talking
No,
about.
what you got,
It's gonna bug me
I
out.
think it's named after the toy, but I don't remember.
Robot.
Oh,
It's not gonna- So anyways, you guys all know the movie I'm talking
Her
about.
mom, and then she died, that's a sad.
So- The storyline is Arnold Schwarzenegger is this businessman who works a lot and he's supposed to go out and get this toy doll. You know, it's the new toy doll, whatever the most recent toy doll it is. I don't know what it is today. In my household, it's the next American Girl doll.
Because you're surrounded by a bunch of little girls.
And they don't get them, but they talk about them. Matter of fact, Grace just got the American Girl doll magazine yesterday. And
Oh, you're.
so anyways, his father's supposed to go out and get this new toy doll, this action figure doll, and he puts it off. Now it's Christmas Eve, and hundreds of parents are out looking for the doll. They are sold out. And so they line up, there's a store that gets this new shipment in, and they're all lined up outside the store, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's there with one of the male guys, Sinbad, is an actor, and they're like, hey, what's this story and that story, and they get in there, and there's only one doll left, and everyone is going after it. They're fighting, they're clawing, they're punching, they're pulling people back, and there even comes one time at the end where Sinbad pulls a gun out, and is going to shoot Arnold Schwarzenegger for the doll. And then he gets into this costume and go on this float and is pretty much puts a kid in danger up on this billboard on top of a building. All because of this doll. Now we see it as a movie, but the sad part is that is a reality in especially America. That we fight, we claw, we almost kill over something that we don't have that we want. And that's what James is saying here. Is you want, yeah, exactly, Black Friday. That's a great illustration. I went to one Black Friday and I'll never go back again. I just won't. I don't care if it's free. If it's a brand new LCD TV free, I'm not going.
Cyber Monday. My pajamas.
There we go. But so James says here, you want something but you don't get it. You kill and covet, but you cannot have what you want. You quarrel and fight, you do not have because you do not ask God. We get so wrapped up in wanting stuff that we don't realize the source of everything is through God. Who made heaven and earth? Who made the grass and the earth? Who made gold and silver? Who made the dollar bill? And don't say that the American Treasury did. God created it. God created the trees that are cut down for the paper. God created the materials that are used for the ink. God created it. If God can create us out of ground, He can create and provide for us. Right? Okay, last one, Romans. Romans 7.
7 through 12, right?
Romans 7, 7 through 12.
What shall we say then? Is the law sinful? Certainly not. Nevertheless, I would not have known what sin was if it had not been for the law. I would not have known what coveting really was if the law had not said, you shall not covet. But sin, seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment, produced in me every kind of coveting. For apart from the law, sin was dead. Once I was alive apart from the law, but when the commandment came, sin sprang to life and I died. I found that the very commandment that was intended to bring life actually brought death. For sin, seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment, deceived me, and through the commandment came death. So then the law is holy, and the commandment is holy, righteous, and good.
What's it saying?
Basically, well, obviously it's saying don't covet, but then it I think he's saying he didn't know that it was bad until he heard about it or read about it in the Bible, and he was alive before because he was fine, he didn't know it was bad, and then he died because he figured out that it was a sin, and then he's God.
Pretty good. Any other thoughts?
I'll wait tomorrow.
And by the way, she means Katie.
Ooh. So what, if you're to theme those 5 verses, put those 5 verses in one theme, what would it say? Wrong. Jacob,
Follow God's rules, not your own.
you're halfway there. You're closer than anyone else is.
Ask for something that you want, don't argue and fight over it.
There's just the second half of that.
And trust in God.
Okay, that wasn't the second half I was thinking of, but that's good. So say the first, what'd you say, begin with again, remind me.
Follow God's rules and not.
Follow God's rules, that's the one I want to take. If you don't follow God's rules, what happens?
You fall short.
You fall short or you sin. Okay? God's rules tells us that coveting is wrong, according to Exodus 20. So the point of this passage, and I find it interesting that Paul only brings out the rule of coveting. He doesn't say murder, he doesn't say lying, cheating, stealing, he doesn't say any of that other stuff. He only brings out coveting, but the whole theme here is that God's law revealed to him that he shouldn't covet. Prior to knowing God's law, he was sinning, and he didn't know it. But now that he knows it, he knows not to do it. But the act of coveting, sorry, I lost my stuff there. But so what he's saying is that we need to follow God's law. By following it, we are doing the right thing, and then we are holy. And what else we need to do is not covet. Okay? Now you can go through the other 9 commandments and do the same thing. Just don't do those things. But I find it interesting that Paul brings out that. Now here's the reason why I think Paul brings it out, is who is Paul writing this letter to? Take the book of the Bible that's written right at the top of your page, take off 3 and add the E. He's writing to the Romans, he's writing to Rome, he's writing to the church in Rome. Specifically, now, theologically, he's writing to you and I. But specifically, as he's penning this, he knows he's talking to people in Rome. Was Rome a rich city or a poor city?
Rich.
Wasn't poor. It was really wealthy. They were really into their money, and they wanted what other people had. So that's why I believe Paul brings this out specifically about this sin of coveting. Sweet. You guys have got to be hot in your jackets and sweatshirts. I'm like sweating over here.
It is hot in here.
So, what?
Yeah.
So, okay. Now we're just getting to the good stuff. That was just the opening exercise. So in Matthew chapter 26, I'm going to read a passage now. No falling asleep. No going to sleep here. Matthew 26. What? Sorry, I'm Katie's way. Hit your blackout. There you go. Matthew 26, verse 14 says this, Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, What are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you? So they counted out for him 30 silver coins. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand Jesus over. So the first thing, if you're taking notes tonight, here's where your notebooks come in handy. Pull them all out, or fake that you're writing notes, make me feel good. We must not envy because it leads to our separation. We must not envy because it leads to our separation. So if you read on in the story, jumping over to verse 22, it says, Then they were very sad, and began to say to him after the others, Surely not I, Lord. You see, Jesus just told them, tonight someone's going to betray him. And all the other disciples sitting around him at the Last Supper, at Passover, saying, Surely not I, God. Surely not I. If I just tell you guys right here in this room that one of you is going to betray me tonight, you all start going, not me. Well, Mike, you might go, yeah, it was me, I did it.
At least I own it all, right? Yeah.
But most of you would start going, not me, not me, and that's what happened in that room. You know, they've been traveling together for 3 years. They're like brothers. They have seen things that no one can even imagine, nonetheless have witnessed, and they've seen them. You know, dead men like Lazarus coming out of the tomb alive, blind men being able to see, deaf men being able to hear, people who couldn't talk, speak. You know, You name it, it happened. They saw it. Now Jesus saying, okay, one of you guys, you're going to turn me in. You're going to stab me in the back. And so they're all saying, surely not I. Verse 23, then Jesus replied, the one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him, but woe to the man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not even been born. Then Judas, the one who would betray him, said, surely not I, Rabbi. And Jesus answered, yes, it is you. While they were eating, Jesus took bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, take it and eat, this is my body. Then he took the cup, gave thanks, and offered it to them, and said, drink from it, all of you, this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many in the forgiveness of sins. When they had, jumping down to verse 30, when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. And at that point, Judas left them. I'm filling in the gap here. Judas left the crowd, and he went back to the temple guards and brought the temple guards out to where Jesus was praying. So the first thing, like I said a minute ago, is why we must not envy, because it leads to our separation. Because of Judas's greed, his envy for money, he was separated from Jesus. He was separated from the other disciples. Judas separated himself after being close to him for 3 years. Just as he thought he had, I cannot talk tonight. See, Judas wanted not only money, he wanted power. He went into the temple priest and said, hey, what are you going to give me? He wanted to now connect to the other side. He wanted to connect to the large crowd. He wanted to connect to the power people. He wanted to be in the cool crowd. Hey, what will you give me to hand this guy over that you want? And they said 30 pieces of silver. Oh, we'll give you 30 pieces of silver. If I remember right, 30 pieces of silver was about a year's salary. So I mean, it was a significant amount. It'd be like getting $60,000 to $100,000 today. But is someone's life worth that price? But Judas was willing to hand Jesus over because of money, but also because he wanted to have a power trip. He wanted to be with the cool people. Desiring items, as we read in James, can push us away from those who are close to us. Wanting more, to have a bigger house or to have more toys, means that you're going to have to work more and be away from those you love in order to get the things you want. So let me ask this question. Let's see if I have any goody two-shoes here. Who can tell me or remind me or remember the Hebrews 13 passage? When was the last time that passage was shared in youth group? Besides today. No. No.
A year ago.
I'll put it this way, it's one of your favorite sermons I've ever done.
The dog. I wasn't there.
The dog
I
sermon.
see you redo that one.
So that message I shared, and what was about that story? The dog sermon. What was all about the story? What was about the story? Huh?
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining, okay. What was the point of the story? Who can remember the storyline?
His wife left him with the dog, and he wanted a job, so he tried to make money over God.
So he was a businessman that already had a job that required a lot of time. And so his wife and daughters left him because he was never home. And here he thought he was being a good father, providing for them. Well, then his boss comes over and offers him another job that's going to pay him even more, because he required even more time. And the time that he had with his daughters, he was not going to have at all. And the nice dog that was there graciously reminded him with his Bible that opened to Hebrews 13, 5 and 6, and read that and made him realize, no, I need to be content with what I have. Who is blowing what up?
There wants to go also, he said a ball.
So, by desiring things that you don't have can push you to have to work more hours to earn more money. You know, in today's age, we don't really make as much money as what the cost is to live, right? Yeah, especially here in Lake Stevens, Granite Falls, Snohomish, and Everett. Cost of living's high, but the pay is low. And that's across the board, no matter really what occupation you're in. Even those at Boeing make decent money, still are challenged to survive. So by wanting more than what you need to survive, you have to go work more. Well, if you work more, then you're not even home with the family. You're not even home to be with your kids. You're not even home to be with your spouse because you're working 24/7. I'm sure most of us can remember a time where our parents had done that. And that's just even for us to survive. You need to be careful to not envy because it will create separation if you do. Second thing is we must not envy because it leads to our death. Acts chapter 1, verse 18 says this. With the reward for his wickedness, Judas bought a field. There he fell headlong, his body burst open, and all his intestines spilled out. Don't you just love the descriptiveness here? Now, Luke is the author of Acts. Luke was a doctor. So he has no problem explaining the medical realm and just letting things fall out. But basically what it's saying is Judas took this, went out and bought a field and killed himself.
It's interesting because it reads as, there he fell, but my impression of it was always, he bought the field so he could take his life. Here it almost, when you see it, it almost sounds like, oh, he bought it and then boom, he fell. It was,
Now most traditions will teach that he bought it to die on.
yeah.
That he went out and bought this field so he could die on that field. So because of his envy, it drove him to become suicidal. Here, now keep in mind, he had 12 other great friends that they'd been around, did all kinds of stuff. And he went out and got greedy. He envied the money, he envied the power, and he betrayed his own friend for that power. And then all of a sudden felt the emptiness inside that he went out and committed suicide because he had no one. He separated himself from his true friends. Though we may not die from items we receive, the loss of friends and family can lead to an emotional death or even a literal death. Our nation is driven by materialistic items. What kind of car do you drive? How new is it? How much did you pay for your house? How big of a house do you got? It's like we compare all these materialistic things, and sometimes we're willing to sacrifice our friends to fit in. Hey, I fit in with the rich kids, so you're too poor for me. I'm going to go hang out with them. Well, then the rich kids find out that you're poor, and they kick you out, and now your poor friends don't like you either. You're left with no one. I'll tell you this, don't betray a friend, ever. Because you never know who's going to stand there for you later on, but that friend. Michael W. Smith, I love the song, Friends Are Friends Forever. Don't betray them, because then I almost sang it.
You can't say that and then not have it go through my head. I'm just saying.
Now that song came out before you guys were born as well.
Not before I was born, just to clarify, because we all know I'm older and dirty.
So, I'm going to challenge you here. Seeing iPads and Kindles and notebooks and iPhones and all that kind of stuff.
Bibles.
No, I'm not talking about Bibles. Can you guys live without your electronics?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a Bible in my electronic.
Does your electronic feed you literally, not spiritually, literally?
No, sir.
Does it provide a roof over your head?
No.
Give me a smart aleck comment. Yeah, I got a job that makes me use it. I'm not talking about that. Do your electronics put a roof over your head? Do your electronics put gas in your car? So you do not need electronics to live. But yet people will literally almost kill to have electronics. That's what we're talking about, this envy, this greed that's going on. Challenge yourself to live without your iPod, iPad, cell phone, TV, Facebook, Twitter, or even your vehicles for at least a week. Put it away for at least a week. If it's easy for a week, then do it 2 weeks. If it's easy 2 weeks, then do it a month. Try living without it for a period of time. Because if you feel that you can't live without it, it has control in your life. It may not be controlling your life, but it has a control in your life. Now I'll tell you this much, personally, I'll tell you myself, I have a hard time with Facebook. I feel like I have to have it up in my office because I don't want to know what's going on in your guys' lives. And yes, I do check up on you, so don't put anything on Facebook that you shouldn't be putting out there. So I look.
Winter was dying.
Okay.
Wow.
Did I just say something about don't throw your friends under the bus?
Yes.
last thing is, we must not envy because it leads to our replacement. It leads to our separation, it leads to our death, and it leads to our replacement. Acts chapter 20, verse 21. Acts 1:21 says this, verse 20. For, said Peter, it is written in the book of Psalms, may his place be deserted, let there be no one to dwell in it, and may another take his place of leadership. Therefore, it is necessary to choose one of the men who have been with us the whole time the Lord Jesus was living among us, beginning from John's baptism to the time when Jesus was taken up from us. For one of these must become a witness of us through his resurrection. I'm sorry, it goes through 22. So when Judas decided to betray Jesus for the sake of money, he lost his place as a disciple. He became alone. It led to his death, but it also led to his replacement. Here in Acts, they are asking or nominating someone to take Judas's spot. And it says that the lot fell to Matthias. Those who are envious push people away, in which it leaves a void in other people's lives. So if we go back to that dog story, okay? Yeah, I bring it back so you guys know it. And the wife that left the man that was working, for those of you guys that didn't see the dog sermon, you know, this guy who was divorced, and you will see it. We're just, Darren and I are saving for the right day to do it. I almost did it tonight.
Has Farron seen it?
No.
You're in for a surprise.
But anyways, the wife left the husband. The wife now has a void in her life. The wife left the husband because the husband got greedy to have all this money because he thought he was taking care of the family. But really, it was greed for all the toys. Well, now all of a sudden the wife has a void in her life of a husband, of a father for her kids. And so she's now finding someone to fill that void. Now her original husband, her first husband, is looking at this situation going, whoa, that's my spot that someone else is taking. Right? Does this make sense? Now I'm sure you guys are going, oh yeah, but that's a married couple and all that kind of. Keep in mind, you separate yourself from your family because you get greedy. You separate yourself from your friends because you get greedy. They're going to go find new friends. They're going to find someone else to fill that void. And pretty soon you're going to feel all alone. Is greed really worth it? Is envying really worth it? Desiring what you don't have or what you can't have, is it really worth what you are giving up? We must not envy. Talking about masquerades, and tonight the topic is the mask of envy. As students, we put a mask of envy on almost every day. I am challenged with a mask of envy. I do not own my own house. I see people who own a nice house, and I desire to have a house like theirs. I have to be careful of setting a goal of something I want to achieve, not owning a house, versus desiring what someone already has, that being their house. I want what they have. There is a difference in it. So you guys can desire to have cars and iPads on it, and that's fine, but they should be goals that you want to obtain, not things that drive you from separating from everyone else. Does that make sense? So we must take off our mask of envy, coveting, greed, power hungry, manipulation, selfishness. Those all fell under that area of envy. And focus on your walk with God. Because Hebrews 13:5-6 says that we must be content in what we have. We need to be content. I have to be content that I have a roof over my head. Some families don't have that. I need to be content that I have food in my stomach. A lot of people don't have that. I need to be content that I can go and pay for a haircut. I need to be content that I have 2 vehicles. A lot of families don't even have that. I should be happy with what God has blessed me with. But I also have goals that I want to achieve. And that is owning my own house, being debt-free, and those kinds of things. We can set goals and achieve those goals, but living in contentment is one of the largest challenges we face today. I encourage you to break that trend that's happening in the nation. And be content in what God has given you. Be content with your parents. God has blessed you with those parents, whether it's your biological, whether they're step, whether they're your adoptive, whoever they are that is in your house, leading your home. Be happy that you have them. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't even have a parent. There's kids who are walking the street. There's kids that just wish they could come in and have at least an adult say hi. There's kids who just wish that they could have a parent or someone say, I love you. Be happy with who you have as your parents. Now I know a lot of your parents. Be proud and happy that you have your parents. Be happy in what God has given you for a home or a vehicle to drive in or live in. Be content in it. Be proud of what you have. Don't be wanting what the other guy has.